Hello, I'm Sheila from the Abbots house in Charmouth, and today I'd like to show you how to make a recipe I've created for this beautiful shoulder of lamb I've got here. It looks succulent, doesn't it? It's perfect for a dinner party or a special occasion. It's going to be packed full of flavours, and I create a paste which I make in this machine here. I put it all together and then I rub it into the shoulder of lamb. It's cooked in two stages. You have, first of all, there's an hour where it's just with all its spices on there, and then we will add other ingredients later for another 3-hour roasting. So it's a total of 4 hours in the oven, but it does make this beautiful, yummy, scrummy lamb which will just melt in the mouth, but has got lots of flavour as well without detracting from the lamb flavour, so you do keep that. For the paste, we have 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, 2 teaspoons of ground coriander, half a teaspoon of ground turmeric, and half a teaspoon of chilli flakes, which, don't be put off by that. It's not going to make it hot. It just gives it a little bit of a oomph to it. You've got four salted anchovies here, which I've drained and just chopped up. Again, you must be careful with the salt on this. Don't add any salt at this stage because the anchovies themselves have got quite obviously got some saltiness to them. So leave any salt out at the moment. Don't be tempted. And also 4 lovely big garlic cloves there. Then you've got 50 grams of unsalted butter and half a lemon. You squeeze about a tablespoonful of lemon into the mix. So now I'm going to add all these ingredients into the grinder. So get these here, all in together. There goes the cumin, the coriander, turmeric. That gives a lovely colour to it. These lovely chilli flakes. You can pop in half a red chilli if you prefer to. There's your anchovies. Now I think what I might do with these garlic cloves, because they're quite big ones here, is just give them a rough chop. There we go. Scoop them all in. Whoops. There we go. There's your butter going in. Just cut him down a little bit so he's got a bit of room there. So that's squidging that in. And then you've got your lemon juice. Good old squirt in there. Nice juicy lemon, this one. If you get your lemon so it's at room temperature, it does help because you get more out of a lemon than... I think a pip just went in, but never mind, I think that'll get crushed down there. There we go. So that's all that. Lemon's good for the hands. Whoops. Pop the lid on here. And see how we're doing here. Yep, that should be lovely. It's quite a thick paste. There. Now, just before I pop it onto let's move all this out of the way. Just before I pop it onto the lamb, I'm just going to score that lamb so you can get right down into the middle of it there. This lamb has been standing out of the fridge for a good hour, so it's up to room temperature, which means obviously it doesn't go partly cold into the oven. You don't have the middle of it being cold. So right now, this is the fun bit. We've got to smear this all over. Lovely smells, this paste. Don't want to waste any of that. Now really rub it through. into those little cracks and crevices. Lift him up and lift a bit underneath. Nice and messy, this. Probably stain your hands as well, but don't worry. Everybody know you've been cooking with turmeric. There we go. Now, obviously, as I've been touching raw meat, what I need to do now is wash my hands. Now our lamb's all ready to be put in the oven. So you need to foil the lamb up nice and tightly all the way around. Punch it really well. And this will go into the oven, gas mark 3, 160 degrees centigrade, and that will be for 1 hour. So let's get him in. On the top shelf, now I've just taken the lamb out of the oven. It's had its hour in there, so wonderful smells going on. Should have smelly vision. Ah, there we go. Now that's looking good. So what I'm going to do is just those juices there, just baste them over a bit. So just get my cloth. Look, nice juices there. Lovely juices. All those spices in there. So, got that on there. Now, we've got 4 red onions here. And I've just done them into sort of chunks. And just put them all around the lamb. Just beautiful red colour these are. Lovely crisp. I actually prefer red onions to white. I think they've got such a lovely flavour and the colour's so vibrant. There we go. Then you've got about a dozen prunes here. So we do the same with those, pop them all around. This is where you've got a nice fruity flavour coming through. Slightly, you've got sort of Mediterranean meeting Moroccan, I'd say. It's that sort of feel and senses and smells. Then here you've got 150 ml of dry white wine. And into that, I'm just going to pop a good tablespoonful of either redcurrant jelly, redcurrant jam. If you haven't got either of those, you can use up your Christmas cranberry sauce if you want to. As long as it's got that fruity flavour, a bit of sweetness there. So that's that. And then I'm going to add 100 ml of boiling water. Good to have it boiling because then it gets it off to a good start when it gets back in the oven because it's warmed up a bit. Now we just pour that all around and see all these lovely juices going in all around. Just even pop some of that fruitiness onto there. There. That's a feast for eyes, isn't it? Beautiful colours there. Now what we have to do now is double wrap it with the foil. You can use the piece you had originally there as your first one. Pop him onto there. Seal him up. And then you get the other one. Really good tight seal there so it can sort of cook on the side. You know, sort of keeping all that moisture in there. You don't want anything to dry out. Even though you put lots of liquid in there, you need plenty of liquids there. And then we're going to put that back into the oven and you're going to reduce the oven temperature down to gas mark 2. And that will be 140 degrees centigrade, and that's going to sit there quite happily for 3 hours. Right, so it's had its last 3 hours in the oven. So now I'm going to take off the foil. It's smelling very good. There we go. Just pop that over there. Need that again in a minute. So I'm going to lift the lamb out of the... It's very, very tender, this. I'm going to lift it out of its juices. There we go. Oh, that smells so good. I'm just going to pop it to one side and I'll just pop the foil back over just to keep it warm there while I finish off. And I'm going to take all the yummy squidgy prunes and the red onion, which, although it's lost its red colour, has got a nice sort of colour. If you use just plain white onions, they tend to go a bit dirty looking. So it gives it. So we've just popped those back in the oven, and they can just slightly sort of caramelise off in the last bit of the heat of the oven. There we go. So I'm just going to pop this back in the oven now. Now, a little tip coming up. Obviously, I've put butter in there, and lamb does have quite a bit of fat. So if I just get a few ice cubes and just pop into the dish, give them a bit of a swirl around, and you can see the fat is actually sticking to the ice cubes there. Obviously you have to be quite quick on this, because otherwise what you're going to do is end up with a lot of melted ice in there, but on the whole it does pick up quite a bit of that residue fat. There we go, and we'll just get rid of those ice cubes. There we go. There. Right, look at that. Nobody wants that bit of fat, I'm afraid. So that's for the bin. Except I wouldn't suggest you put that down your sink, because you might block your drain up. So probably let it sort of the water go, the ice melt, and then you can get rid of the fat into the bin. Much safer. Now, put all those lovely juices into a pan, and then we're just going to pop them on quite a fast heat there, and just let them cook off, and then they'll start to thicken up nicely. It'll reduce down. Falling off the bone. Beautiful, just like that. And to serve with the lamb, I prepared some cauliflower mash, some sautéed leeks, and some slow roasted cherry tomatoes. The lamb all shredded. There. And then just to finish it off, we just get our sauce and just give it a little drizzle over the meat. It's so moist anyway, the meat, it barely needs any more, but it's just nice to have a little bit more, because there's quite a bit of flavour in that sauce. And there you have it.